Yiping, Excellencies, my colleague, the Assistant Director General for Culture at UNESCO, and everyone gathered today for the presentation here in New York of this very well presented and prepared report on the creative economy for 2013, Widening Local Development Pathways. And we're here to consider also how a report like this might inform the design of the post-2015 development agenda. Of course, with the 2015 target date for the MDGs fast approaching, and with deliberations well underway on the next agenda, including in the very important open working group of the General Assembly on the SDGs, this report on the role of the creative economy in development is very, very timely. It was in May this year that the United Nations System Task Team report on post-2015 noted the need to have new development pathways which encourage creativity and innovation in the pursuit of inclusive, equitable and sustainable growth and development.
Initiative. So I would like to probably invite her to give probably a few reflections as an expert. You have probably 2 minutes if you can manage. Expert supposed to manage, right? Okay. All right. Anna, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm very honored to represent a vast team of creative economy experts from all different countries, walks of life, and complementary experiences who contributed to the seminal report. Particularly, I'd like to publicly recognize the importance of the program managed by Mr. Francisco Simplicio, whose relentless efforts in promoting the creative economy agenda, most especially in developing countries, has been spectacular. And thanks to this most significant work and to the constant support of Mr. Zhou, our developing countries have received an important guidance and contribution over the past years, such as a conference given by President Ashe at the Federation of Industries in São Paulo back in 2007, during a key international conference on the creative economy as a development strategy, but it just feels like ages ago. I had the pleasure to be involved also in the previous editions of the Creative Economy Report, as has just been said, and can only acknowledge the crucial partnership between UNESCO and the United Nations Office for South-South Cooperation, two institutions that, by their legitimacy, competence, and widespread reach, have been catalyzing progress in the understanding of the creative economy as a development engine in its most integral form. Due to time constraints, I'd like to pick just one out of the 10 key recommendations listed in the new release of the Creative Economy Report, the one that emphasizes the need and the opportunity to invest in creativity, innovation, and sustainable creative enterprise development across the value chain. Creative industries chains tend to be long and can be inclusive, provided important conditions are put in place: capacity building, access to credit, cross-sector policies, and many more, as detailed in the report, fundamental to turn creativity into innovation. The fact that we have a long way ahead of us in this direction gives extra importance of the spillover effects of the creative economy, of the creative industries on the economy at large, what is normally recognized as the creative economy. Strengthening the possibilities that developing countries can use their creativity and the creativity of their people to overcome challenges inherited from the 19th and 20th centuries and to take most advantage of the opportunities presented by our current times. Just as a brief example, a creative and dynamic fashion design industry adds a spectacular value and competitiveness throughout the chain, from textile manufacturers struggling to keep their businesses active to a multitude of workers at the bottom of the pyramid. In Brazil alone, this long chain is the biggest employer of women in the services sector, all the way from top models to slum dwellers. The same effect is visible and holds true for gastronomy in Peru, design in Argentina, audiovisual in Chile, architecture in Mexico, music in Colombia, and so forth. As someone working in the field, I'm persuaded that, as the Creative Economy Report rightly emphasizes, supporting the development of creative and cultural entrepreneurs is the only possible way to achieve, at the same time, personal satisfaction, professional fulfillment, and economic autonomy. We can't have peace of mind having no peace of pocket. 3 key elements underpinning the concept and the practice of development as freedom, a concept so much sought after in the speeches of many of our policymakers, but still in the early stages of understanding and implementation in most of our countries. The Creative Economy Report helps us give guidance and depth to those who know that creativity is the most important, non-transferable economic asset of our times, deeply rooted in cultural diversity and propelled by science and technology. Thank you again, UNESCO and the United Nations Office for South-South Cooperation, for shedding further light on the importance of the creative economy as a development strategy, consolidated in the Creative Economy Report, and hopefully in the initiatives yet to come from your commitment and partnership.
Thank you, Anna, for your very important reflection.